Before I get started today, I'd like to kindly ask that you hit the like button with the same velocity that this show hit rock bottom this season. And please subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. I thought I was going to be done with book 2 after the season finale, but I wanted to continue the conversation for at least another few days just because I enjoyed talking with y'all so much. So I was on Twitter a few weeks back and Courtney Kemp made this tweet. It was a gif of Monet saying, "You fucked with the wrong bitch." And Courtney said that Monet is her spirit animal.
Hey, Miss Ladybit.
Ladies, I just want to tell y'all right now, if Monet is your spirit animal, you might want to reevaluate your life. What exactly makes Monet your spirit animal, Miss Kemp? Is it the fact that you both suck at your job and severely dropped the ball this season? If that's the case, then yes, I totally agree with you. I think this just proves that Courtney Kemp is completely tone deaf to the problems that are happening in this show. I'm sure she's receiving some praise from some people who like the show just because power is in the title. But from what I've seen, a lot of people like me were unimpressed or pretty much just let down by Power Book 2. I get it. This season was supposed to be about Tariq becoming the new Ghost. And yes, that's exactly what happened, but was it done well? You see, that's up for debate. Actually, I'm being generous. I know quality is subjective, but I don't see how anyone who's objectively watching this show can say that it was well crafted. The writing was really bad, the acting was atrocious at times, and the story arcs didn't progress in a way that made sense, especially based on what we know about the returning characters. And that's not even counting the new characters they just introduced, who weren't developed properly either. What's Monet's characteristics? What makes her a strong character? Is it because she says these lines that are designed to make her sound hard? The reality of the situation is she is one of, if not the weakest character in this story. Because all she does is make things worse most of the time because she reacts in irrational ways. It's like Tariq, they tell us that he's the new Ghost. But let's think about the original Ghost for just 1 second. When we were introduced to James St. Patrick originally, his status in this world was already established. We only hear about his come up through all the conversations he has with people, so we don't get to see any of that, but we buy into it based on how people interact with him. Tariq, on the other hand, we get to see his rise, if that's what you want to call it, but the problem is what we saw from him in the original Power doesn't translate to his character in Power Book 2. In fact, it's almost like they're completely different characters altogether.
That makes sense.
In Power, he was an entitled little rich kid whose reckless behavior got his sister killed. In Power Book 2, he's a creative mastermind who finds his way out of any situation, no matter how much the odds are stacked against him. Just because he hung out with Kanan for a little bit, and he might have sold some pills on the side, and he had a few lessons from Tasha, that doesn't make him a drug kingpin. Being a criminal mastermind isn't hereditary. It's not passed down to you from your father. It's something you have to learn. Tariq didn't go through a good learning process, so how are we supposed to take his character seriously? I wish I could say I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes, but I'm honestly not. Based on how they portray Tariq, he has no competition. There's nobody who poses a threat to him. So where's the conflict? I'm going to do my best to give some predictions for Season 2 anyway, but personally, if it was up to me, I'd say cancel Season 2 and just focus on Power Book 3. But that's not going to happen because people are still supporting this show regardless of quality. So in Season 2, what's going to happen? So there's been a lot of speculation because Naturi Naughton made an Instagram post basically thanking 50 Cent and Courtney Kemp for everything that they did for her. That makes it look like the fact that Tasha went into witness protection, that was their way of writing her out of the show. Which is fine for 2 reasons, one being that I can't stand Tasha anyway, and 2, there's nothing left for her character to really do. Tariq doesn't need her anymore. She's been cleared of all wrongdoing, so what is her purpose for being in the show? Tariq has this new adoptive family as Season 1 comes to an end, so obviously this drug operation will continue, but I have to ask, what happens if Tariq finds a way to graduate early? That would certainly throw a monkey wrench in the plans that they have. They wouldn't be able to continue the operation in the way that it is set up now. And do you really think Monet is going to trust Brayden to continue the operation? I highly doubt it.
Don't be hating.
So it looks like Tariq is in it for the long haul unless he somehow just takes over the whole operation altogether. You can interpret Kane's response to Tariq shooting Jabari in many different ways. He kind of has this smirk on his face, like he's almost like I didn't know the kid had it in him kind of thing. Now, Kane could use this information to appeal to Tariq and try to slither his way back into the family business. I honestly doubt that'll happen. I honestly think Kane should stay on his own and become competition for Tariq and the Tejadas. I think it's a much more interesting story, if they can pull it off, which is highly doubtful, that Kane is competing against his old family and the person that he was replaced by. And then, of course, there's the matter of Jabrari's murder. There's going to be an investigation, and that should put some heat on Tariq. And he will probably find a way out of it because, you know, that's just what this show does.
Fuck you!
Kane and Tariq were both present at the murder. I wouldn't be surprised if Kane uses this information to point the investigation in the direction of Tariq. Likewise, I think Tariq could possibly frame Kane for Jabrari's murder. They could take this in a few different directions. It's just whether or not the writing team are talented enough to make the story compelling, which is highly unlikely. I have a sneaking suspicion that either Zeke's affair with Carrie or his affiliation with the Tejada family will eventually catch up to him. I think his basketball career will be in jeopardy next season for sure, in one way or another. 2Bits is still out there, and he kind of has the upper hand on Tariq, or at least he did the last time they were together. He'll most likely be still looking for handouts, and I'm sure Tariq is going to want to look to get rid of 2Bit. There's still the pool murder investigation going on, so that could come into play and pointing the investigation in his direction. I could also see an alliance between Kane and 2Bit as well, to either expose or extort Tariq in some way, or just flat out try to kill him.
I like the way you die, boy.
2Bit is definitely a wild card. I hope he has a bigger role in Season 2 because he was one of the high points of Season 1 in my personal opinion. I'm not really sure where the Saxon-Davis relationship goes because honestly I can't take that partnership seriously. It just doesn't seem like they'd ever want to work together. And it kind of feels like their presence isn't necessary anymore. I mean, the Tasha case is over. It seems like the legal aspect of the show wouldn't be a week-to-week thing anymore. But the fact that they made them come together in the final episode and Davis offered him that job, that tells me that they do have plans for those two characters. I'm assuming they'll be involved in the Jabrari murder case investigation in some way. I don't really think Tommy's going to be back, at least not in a bigger role. His beef is with Tasha and it feels like she's been written out, so I doubt that they'll need him. Unless he decides to come at Tariq because he wants to get at Tasha so bad and he uses that to draw her out of hiding. We'll see, but I highly doubt it. Honestly, we all know there's only one thing that could save this show, and that's that Ghost faked his death and he's still out there somewhere. Imagine if he came back and he is now literally a ghost to people. Like he's back from the dead and he's ready to take the streets back. Unfortunately, he would probably help Tariq even though he shouldn't when shit with the Tejadas inevitably goes south. But to me, this show is missing the one true ghost, the only real ghost. It probably won't happen either, but it's nice to think about. So all in all, that's my thoughts on Season 1 and looking ahead to Season 2, some of my predictions. I want to say again, I've enjoyed talking to all of you in the comments down below and hope to continue to do so for future Power seasons, as well as some of my movie reviews if you're interested in that. But give me some of your predictions and let me know what you thought about all this in the comments down below. As always, please like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell for notifications, and I'll see you next time right here on Real Shift. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Y'all be cool. Right on.